This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.
Hey, I did it. Good evening, everybody. It's the Finance Committee meeting for June 13th. First thing we have is approval of minutes of June 2nd. Connie, you can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I need a motion to approve the minutes of June 2nd, which I did not attend.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, Tom Peak.
Aye.
Counselor Denham.
Aye.
Counselor Rist abstains. Minutes for June 8th. Need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion to approve the minutes of June 8th. All in favor? Tom Peak.
Aye.
Counselor Denham.
Aye.
Counselor Rist says aye. Mayor communication, anything other than what's on the agenda?
Yes.
Speak up for the microphone.
Yes. One thing I had I don't want to confuse two issues, but I do have a request to create a stabilization account on the city side for the schools, and was wondering if I could submit that as an amendment or for consideration by the council to move forward on the 15th.
If it's in the agenda, it still has to go to finance and be approved, and then approved finally by the council on July 6th.
Okay.
So it can.
It can,
That's up to
but
the president
still, I'm
to
not
put
going
it
to
in.
get. All right. I just want to throw it out there.
You want it to be approved before July 6th?
I'd like to be approved before June 30, but I don't see a way forward.
Could we vote on that on
We can move that on
the first reading? It's just creating an account.
My
I would not
only
be asking for
concern
funding.
is, I'm
What was
recalling,
I'm not asking for any funding to go into it, I'm just asking for the account.
I think that's okay. You can't do one reading for appropriations, but we're not appropriating it.
Right.
That's in the charter. You can do everything else, but you can't. So I think put it in, I think we can. If somebody objects.
I think you have to talk to the council president, because he's the only one who can amend the agenda.
I know who to talk to now.
I'm sorry, I was a rules guy, so I was trying to.
I just want to let her know that.
Well, then, thank you.
Okay, is that it, Mayor?
I'll be account, yeah. I'm all set. Thank you.
Public speak, if there's anyone I'm going to start with the people online. If there's anyone online that wants to speak, use the raise your hand method. Julie, go ahead.
Hi, thank you. First, I just wanted to say.
Hold on, can you tell us who you are, where you live?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Julie, I'm from Precinct 1.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. I just wanted to say thank you to two counselors. First, to Councilor President Gomez. I had attended your introduction to 101 to city budget last year. That was just so helpful in helping me to understand the process and procedures of the city budget. I mean, I recommend anybody to watch that on YouTube. It's fantastic. And then the second, I just want to thank Councilor Rist as well for providing clarifications and impacts of not passing a budget and consequences. That helped me to really understand the implication. So thank you both very much. What I had to say, I think I'm going to change it a little bit because it sounds like there is some movement with the school committee and the mayor in a resolution, which I am hopeful and happy to hear about. But I just wanted to request and ask you to please approve all of the interdepartmental transfers and supplemental appropriations on the agenda. And that includes the $650,000 from the free cash to the general and capital stabilization fund to the city council. I hope that you please consider the cause and effect would be if you choose not to move forward in recommending the approval. Again, it will not change the school budget situation, as only the school committee and the mayor can do that through a process. But it would have a negative impact on our city departments and our city of Easthampton as a whole, and most certainly would do more harm than good. So thank you all very much. I appreciate all your efforts. Thank you.
Thank you, Julie. Anybody else online? Seeing none in the room? You guys aren't here for public speak? Okay. First thing up on the agenda then is $287,769.80. I love how we get the 80 cents. That's our wonderful auditor doing that. And this is a matching funds for a $3,797,551 project, and all that money is grants, right?
Yes.
So these funds are necessary in order to provide a match for this project. If they're not approved before July 1, is that an issue?
It would certainly affect the project timeline.
Affect the project timeline.
Yeah.
Try to speak up because we have one microphone. Okay. Obviously, this particular project, the Cherry Street Reconstruction Project, is valuable. This is coming from enterprise retained earnings, and so that the people online and anybody else who wants to know, that's the quote-unquote free cash account of the water department or the enterprise fund. So as of June 30th, it's gone and it's reset for the fall. So it's an attempt to use those funds as they exist. All right, so comments or questions for Greg from counselors? Counselor Peak, anything?
No, I mean, I think that this makes a lot of sense. I'm happy with the amount of matching funds we're getting from the state to do this, and it's right in my neighborhood, so it's an issue that I'm certainly aware of what we're trying to address here. I think it's a pretty cool thing that we're trying to do. So,
Counselor Denham, anything?
No, I'm just also equally pleased. I think it's really great what's happening.
Okay, Counselor Gomez, President Gomez, excuse me.
I'm a counselor too.
I want to give you all the respect you deserve. All right, so if there's no other comment, Mayor, anybody on this? We obviously need it.
Yeah, I would just say that this is a very needed project. The issues on the lower end of Cherry Street, water and the sewer, and really that whole neighborhood have been only growing worse, and we're never great. But especially with this project, it's a really great collaboration between planning and DPW and using some cutting-edge green infrastructure tools that the state actually gave to us because of how our engineers approach this project. So this is a project that we should all be very proud of. DPW and planning working so well together and attacking environmental as well as basic infrastructure needs long overdue. It's really a win-win for the whole city, and we're looking forward to just showing the rest of the state of how to do these projects just right. So we'd like the money as soon as we possibly can so we can get people working on it.
Sounds good to me. If there's no other comment from counselors, I'll take a motion to approve to recommend to the full council $287,769.80 from enterprise retained earnings for the Cherry Street match for the Cherry Street project.
so moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Counselor Peak?
Aye.
Counselor Denham?
Aye.
Counselor Riss says aye. Now we have the biggie, the $650,000 movement from free cash, $260,000 to general stabilization, and $390,000 to capital stabilization. Now, for the purposes of the public and for counselors that might view this, because I know you counselors probably already know this, I wanted to take advantage of the fact that I've been here a while and give you some history of why stabilization is so important. In 2008, we had a major recession in this country. The federal government had to help automobile companies survive. Our revenues at the state level dropped dramatically, and as a consequence, our city lost a great deal of revenue. Taxes did not come in, sales taxes were down, people were out of work. As a result, because we did not have much stabilization, we were not able to support our budget, and there were many layoffs. I was told 3 in the police department alone, and in the DPW, everybody in the government, there was a lot of layoffs. So when you have the General Stabilization Fund, you're not only telling bonding companies that you're stable, you're providing a rainy day fund for the possibility of a recession. And Councilor Peak, you're an economist. A recession is possible coming up.
No, I think it's likely.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. But anyway, if we have a recession and we have $2 or $3 million in our stabilization account, maybe the mayor doesn't have to lay off everybody, as I recall, I think it was Mayor Tosnick had to do back then. And that's really critical because our services can continue. And that's why we do a stabilization account. Now, the capital stabilization account was created only a few years ago, but it's there for emergencies, especially if something of major importance breaks down. And our DPW director is here. If the wastewater treatment plant, which is a very old and operating because we've done a pretty good job of maintaining it, if there's a major failure and we can't fix it without major funding immediately, that's why you have general stabilization. Also, there's other places you can use it. Maybe a major truck goes down, a fire truck or an ambulance. We don't have one and it really hurts us. That's a way to use it. So that's what stabilization accounts do. Now let's talk about bonding. When we buy a bond, or when people buy our bonds, the interest rate is dependent on our rating. Our rating has grown from very bad in 2008 because we had no stabilization to a level now where the interest rate on the recent bonds for the school was incredible. And that saves thousands of dollars in taxpayer interest. So I'm just trying to educate everybody why we need to put money into stabilization. It can be drawn at any time. There's no waiting till November, where free cash is gone on June 30th, and it can't be used right now because it's this budget year. We can't just well, the mayor could appropriate it to the schools, kind of late now, but it's this fiscal year. So it goes away and it's recalculated in the fall by the DOR. But stabilization accounts are always there. The mayor wants to appropriate money from stabilization for anything, she can. Obviously, preferring not to keep it there for rainy days, but it's there. So saving money in stabilization, I have been here a long time. Anytime we've been able to do this, I am excited about that prospect. Not just for bond ratings, but for the fact that if our economy tanks, our city will be able to function. And we're one of the more fiscally stable cities in this state because of that. Hadel, can you tell me if we put 250, what our stabilization account balances will be if these two funds go? General with 260 and capital with 390. What's our balance then?
Give me a real quick second. I wasn't prepared for this one.
I should have asked you.
2 seconds. I do have the actual number. I just have to do the math. 44606.
It's a lot of zeros.
And we're talking. Did you say general?
General, we're adding 260 to what you have. If we add it.
It would be 4.72 million approximately.
4.72 million. 4,720,000.
Yes, 664 and 17 cents.
That's in general stabilization.
Yes.
Capital stabilization.
Hold on. Getting there. Oh. Capital. 243327 390. 2.82 million.
2,820,000. Now, just for my own purposes,
Could you say that number one more time?
2,820,000 for capital stabilization.
Okay.
That's if these two items were put into.
Yes.
Can the mayor decide to transfer capital stabilization money to general stabilization money should she want to? Is there any rule against that? I don't know the stabilization account rules, I just.
No, it has to be, the purpose, it says in the name, it has to be capital purpose. Putting it in the general stabilization is not a capital purpose.
So it couldn't be used in an emergency if you wanted to?
No, it has to be related with the capital, and it
Okay.
has to go to a capital account as a transfer.
That was just my own point of information. So I'm done with my speech. Counselor Peak.
So I think part of the reason for that speech was because there was a little bit of a dust up about this as it was introduced into new business, which is fair. As far as I'm concerned, in the time since then, there's been a lot of great communication between the mayor, the school committee, President Gomez. I've played a small role in that myself, and I think we're all feeling good that there's going to be an agreement that everyone can live with. So I have no problem moving on any of these.
I did say it though for the public, so
Yeah.
you know, I know everybody else knows the reasons we.
Sure.
So.
I just, for what it's worth, like, there was a big conversation about this almost 2 weeks ago, and I just wanted to say, we've had a lot of talking since then. I think we're in a good place. I have no problem with any of these items making it to a public hearing, and I'm not going to be difficult about any of that this time.
Counselor Denham.
No.
No, I'm very happy with the progress that in regards to things, and I think that this is definitely needed for the city. So I'm supportive.
Very good. Anything, Mayor? Anybody?
No, you captured it all. Check of the need and what the fiscal objective is here. I mean, when you look at inflationary behavior and possible recession, the only thing you can do is really save. It's not sexy or glamorous, but it's a good tool to hedge against that.
What's our bond rating right now, Jess?
AA plus with a stable outlook.
AA plus, is that good?
That is good.
Are we just like one plus away from the best or something?
It would be really difficult for a city our size with the regional economy to go above. I mean, Jessica, I'll defer to you, but we've always been, I mean, AAA would be, we would have to control the regional economy, I think, to actually think about that.
Yeah, well, I'll take the AA plus, it's okay.
I have no problem with that.
Okay, anybody else? Counselor Gomez? Wow, okay. Then I'll take a motion to approve a transfer of $650,000 from free cash, $290,000 to general stabilization, $260,000 to general stabilization, and $390,000 to capital stabilization.
So moved.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Counselor Peak?
Aye.
Counselor Denham?
Aye.
Counselor Riss says aye. Thank you very much. I still like my speech, though. It was a good speech.
It was a good speech.
There you see?
I figure I've been here a long time, and that was a bad time, 2008. I just have to tell you. All right, the next thing is injured on duty prior fiscal year bills. We often have these at the end of the year. We have a medical expense for injured on duty claims for prior fiscal years. So, Hadel, do you want to explain this? I don't know if you're the one. I think you are.
It was Emily. Is Emily there?
She's not on the call.
Okay.
I'm assuming this was
There is something
insurance
happened.
claim?
I mean, we did one of these like a month ago, didn't we?
Yeah, we have to do these.
No,
Not-
that one
No.
was different. So that was police and fire, and they were catching up because of the insurance, and it was specifically for the fiscal year from fiscal year 2021. But this one is, I think, the company, Cabot Company, had their audit, and when they went back, they found invoices prior to 2021, and I think it's starting 2019 or 2018. And now they are sending all these bills and stating that, this is our audit finding, and we are catching up and cleaning up our books of accounts, and you guys owe us this much amount. And that's where this is coming from.
Okay, it's an old bill.
It is prior to 2021 bill, yes.
Okay, any questions, counselors? Counselor Denham? Councilor Gomez?
No, the only thing that I'm gonna say is, if you guys are not convinced to do it tonight, you can send it to the full council with a recommendation and have Emily there to answer all the questions.
Well, I think
But
that's
if
true,
you
but
guys are happy
I'm
with-
fine with an
yeah.
old bill. I think that
Yep.
she hit it.
That works.
Sure, I mean, if Emily wants us to give some context, that's fine, but I don't see, like, unless we're being, like, unless they're taking us for a ride or something, then I don't see why we
Yeah.
wouldn't, like.
Hadel wouldn't
if we
let
have-
them
we have a
take us
bill,
for a
or-
ride.
Just saying.
Yeah, if we have a bill, then we have a bill, I don't know.
Yeah. I hope.
It is from 2017 and 2018. I'm looking at the paperwork.
Okay.
2017, 18, and 2019.
Okay. I have to say, this is not unusual. We get these kind of bills. Any further discussion? Nothing? Take a motion to approve, to recommend to the full council $10,873.19 from free cash to pay a prior fiscal year bill for a deductible from our risk insurance, $10,873.19.
So moved.
Second.
Motion a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Councilor Peak?
Aye.
Councilor Denham?
Aye.
Councilor Riss says aye. What do I have next? 17,000 for Medicare tax. Obviously, didn't we just do one of these? Hadel, we did this. I'm sorry.
No, we did it last year in June.
So it was last year we did this.
Yes. I think it was the July special meeting, right before July 15th. That's when we did, as the end of the year, and it was a big amount, so we had to use the free cash.
Okay.
A reserve account. We used reserve last year.
So we owe Medicare, school Medicare, and our regular employee Medicare.
Oh, no. So this is Medicare tax. That's not the Medicare insurance, which Emily did. You're right. Emily did that one for,
That's what I thought.
that was to cover the insurance, Medicare health insurance. This is Medicare tax, which is a part of the payroll, and I'll defer to Jessica on this one, because she's.
Okay, so just so people know, we paid an insurance premium recently for Medicare. This is the tax you take out of everybody's payroll,
Correct.
and we're short.
They have a portion and we have a portion. This is our portion.
And somehow it got calculated less.
No, let me.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to accuse anybody.
I think it was just under budgeted.
Under budget is what I meant to say.
No, it's not under budgeted.
Okay,
So what happens is, during the when we do the budget, we have an estimate amount. During the fiscal year, if somebody is getting raise, or we got COLA, or there is a negotiation which took place at any of the unions, and it changed the dollar amount for their pay, that changes proportionately the dollar
That's a
amount for
very good-
Medicare tax amount, our contribution. The employee contribution comes out from their check itself, but our contribution changes, and it's impossible to go for appropriation as it changes every time. So we normally wait till end of the fiscal year to true up this account.
so because of like the payroll, the COLAs we did for pay plan, and also there was maybe some collective bargaining increases during the fiscal year, that's why our tax was short. Okay.
Step increases, position change, could be.
You just
any-
wait until the end of the year to catch up.
Yes.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Any questions? Connie, any questions? Tom, nothing? Okay. I'll take a
I just
motion.
have one question. What happens if we don't pay? No, just really,
It would be a negative in the budget because it's an automatic, like when the taxes get paid from the payroll system, it's 1.45 on their end, 1.45 on our end. I'm not 100% sure of how the bill comes out because I'm still new.
okay.
But I don't know that there's an option not to pay it.
That's why I'm asking, because I just want to know what happened,
We'd probably get fined by the IRS.
right? Okay.
I don't want the IRS
No,
in here.
I just want to know what happened.
You would
I
ask.
don't want to lose the plus.
We want to pay, but I just was wondering what happened if we don't.
It's a part of our automatic deduction, just like federal taxes. It's a part of our automatic deduction through our payroll system to meet the requirements at the state and federal level.
Okay, then I'll take a motion to recommend to the full council a supplemental appropriation of $17,000 from free cash to be transferred to the school Medicare account, $5,000, and to the Medicare tax account, $12,000.
So moved.
So moved. Second.
The motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Counselor Peak?
Aye.
Counselor Denham?
Aye.
Counselor Riss says aye. Last thing is the PEG access. We do this every quarter, correct? It's quarterly?
Yes.
Yep, quarterly.
And we have to do it so that our Easthampton media is able to spend money, correct? I have no questions.
No, we do this like quarterly or something, right?
Right,
So-
it's every quarter we have to pay this bill. We can't pay it for the full year? I'm just curious.
No, we receive quarterly payments from Charter, and that's what we are.
Oh, it's Charter's fault.
Yes, so Charter, if Charter pays us yearly, we can do it yearly, but they don't.
Okay, quarterly payment.
My feelings on this have not changed since 3 months ago.
No. And it will be for rest of the life unless somebody finds some more time at the state level and changes this regulation.
Fat chance. Anyway, interdepartmental transfer, I'd like a motion to approve $51,828.48 from the PEG Access account to the PEG Access account.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Counselor Peak?
Aye.
Counselor Denham?
Aye.
Counselor Riss says aye. I believe we've ended our agenda. Is that correct?
Sounds
I
right.
wanted you to know that the item that I failed to put on here that was the approval of that from Counselor Kwasinski, I apologize for that. It'll be dealt with in the next fiscal year because it really doesn't affect this fiscal year. So I'll deal with it next meeting, whenever that will be, next time.
Okay.
Anything else? I'll take a motion. Oh, Counselor Padel.
No, I'm the auditor. Do you want to know the free cash amount and retained earning, or you want me to bring it to the full council?
I can do that. Yeah, let me write it down. What's the free cash balance after all these get through?
It's $308,615.81.
Okay, and retained earnings?
It's going to be $1,564,282.20.
So, as of July 1, that has to be recalculated for the next fiscal year.
Yes, and after I close the books, it's going to be recertified.
Decertified, so you have to recertify it in the fall. This turns over to free cash unless there's something we don't know about. That could,
This one is definitely going to be. 308,615 is going to close. It's going to be part of the, when I close expense and revenues, that closing is going to add to this account.
okay.
Unless something happens between now and I do close July 15th and we have to appropriate more money out of it, that would be the only thing.
Okay. Good. Anything else from counselors? I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion to adjourn. Counselor Peak?
Aye.
Counselor Denham?
Aye.
Counselor Riss says aye. Connie, I hope everything turns out okay for you out there. Good luck, okay? Thank you all. Wait a minute, I gotta shut off the recording, Don.
Sorry about that.
I was like, oh, who's talking?
I know, right. No, it's just me.
Who's talking?